What's going on? It's the Green Okie coming back at you again with another video. Today going to take a little trip into memory lane, and we're going to go back to the first time that I traveled overseas, which was to China, back in 2008 during the Beijing Olympics. I actually was an exchange student, and I stayed in China for 22 days, and I think 12 of those days I actually stayed with an actual uh, Chinese family, and they took care of me. With some of the, it was one of the best experiences I had ever had up until that time. I'm very thankful that I had that opportunity to even go over there. So what I want to do now, I just want to go ahead and react to the video. That way, you can kind of, I just want to kind of reflect on when I had first gone over there. So here we go.
Believe the first step towards being competitive in a global economy is understanding the competition. That's why an Oklahoma high school teacher regularly takes a group of students to China to meet with their peers. Our Brian Bidley has that story.
Tradition, culture, growth. Just a few experiences Oklahoma City students enjoyed as they spent 22 days in China.
I just told my parents, like, hey, I want to go out and discover the world,
It's just a different experience. Just seeing all the different artifacts, like the Great Wall, the Terracotta Warriors, seeing all those places, it just really opened up my mind to new different aspects of life and new features.
Wow.
Jesus and Terrence were just 2 of 5 students from Southeast High School who had the opportunity to travel abroad.
You have to have an open mind to go to another country because it's not like Oklahoma. It's very big. It's not as diverse as the United States.
And they treat you differently, and they treat you with respect, and they really ain't no racism or any hate over there. They all just really loving. They all brothers over there.
And this wasn't just your typical sightseeing trip. These students took classes with their Chinese counterparts at the Chengdu Vocational Technical College, where they studied while their teacher and chaperone, Tom Trammell, taught English to Chinese students.
They can read English, read and write, but they cannot speak. So we talk to them and have them converse with us during those classes in English.
Southeast High School students apply for the opportunity to study abroad, and only a select few are chosen. But those select few come back to America with a whole new perspective.
As bright as a kid can be, when they come back from China, they're changed. They see what China's all about. They see the flaws in the American system. They see what is positive also in the American system, and they see what's going on in China, and they're so thankful for what they have in America.
The exchange occurs when Chinese students come to America, where they tour the country, staying in Oklahoma for 10 days, taking classes at Southeast High, and finding a completely different style of education.
If you are in the class in China, like teacher will tell you everything you need to do, and you don't have your own idea like that. But in American, it's like you study, you learn because you want to, and you need to know. And after you learn something, you will use it, and you will remember it.
16-year-old Zhao Ling says that while teaching styles are different, the pressures put upon teenagers are great, and one of the reasons she desires to be a psychologist in China.
In China, like if you have problem in your heart, they won't realize like I need a psychologist. They will just talk to a friend or just care about money stuff like that, because the first thing they think about will be like if I have something to eat tomorrow, if I have clothes tomorrow. That's the most things they think about.
Both countries vary from democracy to communism, from ancient civilization to evolving industry. Yet Trammell hopes this exchange creates a better understanding of each culture for the leaders of tomorrow.
Your government will tell you one thing, my government will tell me one thing. When your government is talking about me as an American, you remember my time I spent with you, and you remember what I was the American that you saw. You remember my students. Those are the Americans that you need to remember.
The same thing Trammell does as he teaches about China in his classroom in an effort to develop foreign relations to last a lifetime.
Learn Chinese with great Chinese.
Wow. Wow. Like, I think it's been over 10 years, 10 plus years. I went in 2008, and you know, whenever you see yourself and see how much you've grown, and you know, see how you think about things now in real time, you know, it's really a blessing that I got to do that experience. If I hadn't gone to China, and you know, I don't think my mind wouldn't be so open the way it is now, especially since, you know, a lot more black people are starting to travel overseas. I went overseas during the time when, you know, it was kind of still taboo for black people to really just leave their family like that and go somewhere. So I went overseas before it was cool, you know, and I wasn't in the military. So, you know, it was a really, really humbling experience for me. I mean, China was so amazing. Whenever I set foot there, I mean, I was taking pictures of like the streets and taking pictures of the sign, you know, just like it was like my mind couldn't fathom that they didn't speak English, you know. It was really, really, it was just some of the best moments of my life over there. Having to interact with my Chinese family when I went over there, I think this was actually the best part. So when I was in China and staying with this family, I was actually able to, you know, live with them and kind of follow them from day to day, and they wouldn't let me go anywhere without feeling totally welcomed and can I say, you know, at home. You know, I remember whenever I was about to eat this type of fruit, I think it was an apricot or something like that. The Chinese father, he kind of like rushed into action, and he took away the apricot from me before I could eat it, you know, before I could peel it myself. And the Chinese father, he took it and he peeled it for me. And I was like, man, I ain't never felt like this much service in my life. And when I was walking around, like, you know, people were just taking pictures with me, and whatever black superstar was prevalent at that time, that's who I was. So, you know, LeBron James, he was kind of just starting to be really prevalent. But if I was playing basketball, I was LeBron. Or if I was singing, I was Usher. Because, you know, Usher was still kind of prevalent during that. Well, Usher's still prevalent, but, you know, he was still just as popular back then, right? So just, you know, wherever I went, it always drew this crowd, you know. And it was like I was always the center of attention doing whatever, you know. It was really nice. It was a really, really nice experience. Like I said, I went to like 4 of the biggest cities in China. So I went to Beijing, Chengdu, which is in Sichuan province. I went to Xi'an and Shanghai. man, it was the experience of a lifetime. I actually went to go see like the Chinese acrobats, and they were really amazing. They were really nice. The Chinese food was good. Like I said, I, I didn't like the hot pot too much. I think it was just something about seeing the fish gutted in front of me. I was like, there, I'm gonna catch. I was like, I'm gonna catch something. I just know I am. I didn't want to eat no hot pot. I did not want to eat anything that was like raw. If it was looking like a slug or something, I didn't want to go near it at all. Like, I think my diet could just consist of bread. Like, I started eating bread and like muffins for like 22 days. If it wasn't just straight meatballs or something like that that I could really verify, I didn't want to eat it. I wouldn't eat it. So I think I would go to this place called Bread Talk, and this Bread Talk place, this, of course, it was just bread. So I was just eating bread, and that was it. Bread and some eggs and stuff like that, and that was it. But it was nice though. I did eat some other Chinese cuisine, but I had to make sure that it wasn't. I had to make sure it wasn't alive, or they just killed it like 10 seconds ago for me to eat it. You know, like I said, I had authentic um, fried rice. The fried rice over here in America is not true fried rice. This is the American Chinese fried rice. The authentic fried rice is only lightly, and I mean lightly fried, lightly, and it's more of a refreshing taste versus the greasy undertones that you get when you eat American Chinese food over here, you know. So I kind of told myself I wasn't gonna eat no more Chinese food, because I was like, this is not the real Chinese food, you know. So it was really nice. I had some Peking duck. The Peking duck. It was all right. It was all right. And I also had some. It was a Tex-Mex over there. I had some Tex-Mex. That was nice. I think something also that I remember when I was over there. I was just sleeping on these hard beds. I guess it was good for your back, but it kind of somewhat felt like I was just sleeping on a floor, or just it was just kind of flat, but it felt good though. I mean, like, I woke up refreshed, and I woke up feeling good. At that time, I didn't think that I was gonna like it, but I adapted to it, and it was a really, really nice experience for me. um yeah, I think it was just being able to go over there and see different artifacts, such as like the terracotta warriors. Oh man, I think it was like, when I was over there, it was like 10,000 of them or something like that, and they were really preserved well, and being able to experience that firsthand, it was nothing like you could ever imagine. Um, I also went to, of course, the Great Wall of China. I went to the Great Wall of China, and I actually sea walked on the Great Wall of China at the time. It was it was cool. I had on some Dickies, I think, some red Dickies, and I was just sea walking. It was really, really, it was crazy, but I had a lot of fun. Um, yeah, it was. I would say my experience in China it was so well. Yeah, but yeah, I'll try to come up with some more topics about China if I can remember them. But that experience was really my first experience overseas, and it was really the first experience that kind of really exposed me to international travel. Yeah, but yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below, or send me a message, or so subscribe to the channel if you like it, and then that'll be it. So this is the Green Okie signing off.